If I told you that the government could give you £1,000 every single year just for saving your own money, would you believe me? Most people assume there's a catch, and yes, there's a catch, especially with all the major tax changes coming soon. Rising savings taxes, rising dividend taxes. But the £1,000 is real and is legal, and it's something I've personally used for several years. In fact, using ISAs properly was one of the tools that helped me invest and save tax efficiently enough to hit my financial freedom goals and leave my salary GP role 3 years ago. And since then, I've been fortunate to teach these exact strategies, tax-efficient investing strategies, to thousands of professionals, especially doctors, dentists, and healthcare professionals, many of whom were earning well but quietly overpaying and leaking taxes simply because nobody explained to them how the tax system actually works. And that's why this matters. Because most people don't lose money by doing something reckless or stupid. We usually lose money by doing nothing or by using the wrong account for the wrong goals. And with all the major changes coming with dividend taxes, ISA changes in 2026 and 2027, getting this wrong is about to become even more expensive. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through in clear, simple terms what ISAs really are, the 4 main types of ISAs and why you can ignore the fourth, how cash ISAs, stock and shares ISAs, lifetime ISAs, junior ISAs actually work, the traps most people fall into, and how to decide which ISAs make sense for you, whether it's saving, investing, buying your first home, or planning long-term financial freedom. This is the updated real-world ISA guide for 2026 and beyond, explained simply without jargon. But before we rush in, quick disclaimer. This is financial education. I'm not your personal financial advisor. For everyone's situation is different and your goals are different. So if you need advice tailored to you, speak to a qualified professional. You can check MONEYWISEDOCTOR.com to find one. All right, let's get into it. So what's an ISA really in plain English? An ISA is just short term for individual savings account. It's not an investment, it's a tax-free wrapper. So think of it like a protective envelope sitting around your money. Anything that happens inside that wrapper, whether it's interest, dividends, capital gains, is all completely tax-free. There's no income tax, no dividend tax, no capital gains tax. And in a world where tax thresholds are frozen, dividends and saving taxes are rising, and stealth taxes are everywhere, that wrapper even matters more now than ever. Each tax year, you get an ISA allowance. Right now, that allowance is £20,000 per tax year. You can use all, some of it, or none of it. But once the tax year ends, any unused allowance is gone forever. So it's either use it or you lose it. Now let's look at the 4 main types of ISAs. We'll focus on the main 3, but I'll tell you about the 4th as well. You need to understand them clearly and how to use them. But we'll go through them one by one. Of course, cash ISAs, they are safe, they are simple, limited. A cash ISA is essentially a tax-free savings account. You earn interest and that interest is not taxed, but it's very limited in what you can do. This is where many people in our MONEYWISE Doctor community and many people who use ISAs keep their emergency funds, they hold short-term savings, and they park money they may need soon. But here's a problem. It's a problem with the cash ISAs. Even the best savings rates often lose money in real terms once inflation is taken into account. And now from April 2027, there's a big change coming with the cash ISAs. There's a bit of a rule change there, but it's massive. From 2027, you'll only be able to put £12,000 into your cash ISA each year. The overall allowance stays at 20k. But what this means is that you need to invest £8,000 not saved unless you're using maybe a lifetime ISA cash. But over 65 are exempt, they can still keep the full 20,000 cash limit. So this removes a bit of flexibility for people who like certainty, liquidity, and cash buffers, or are just a little unsure or afraid of investing. This really matters because cash ISAs still have a place, but they should be used intentionally, not by default. You can't invest confidently if you are one emergency away from financial disaster. You need to build your financial foundations first. I've read over 250 books on personal finance and business. Not one of them explains specific issues that affect medics like NHS pensions, financial anxiety, investing, student loans, and much more. Hi, I'm Dr. Andy Egwim. I'm the founder of MONEYWISEDOCTOR.com. For over 21 years, I've been investing investing and studying personal finance. In fact, 3 years ago, I left my salaried NHS GP job after achieving financial independence. Since then, over 1,200 medics have joined our tax-efficient investing masterclasses that are totally free. And much more than that, 10,000 doctors and healthcare professionals have used my content to make smarter financial decisions and avoid costly mistakes. That's why I wrote the MONEYWISE Doctor. The MONEYWISE Doctor is a step-by-step guide, it's a book to simplify the path from confusion to clarity for medics and to help you make smarter financial decisions and avoid costly mistakes that can affect your future. We've already helped thousands of doctors learn how to save smarter, invest tax efficiently, and finally feel in control, in charge of their financial future. Now, if you're ready to gain clarity, confidence, and control with your money,
the MONEYWISE Doctor Book is now available. Click on the link below to order your copy now and start your journey to financial freedom.
Number 2, stock and shares ISA is the growth engine. This is my favorite one. This is where ISA has become powerful, and I love this particular ISA. A stock and shares ISA allows you to invest in index funds, ETFs, exchange traded funds, shares, and bonds. Any growth inside this is 100% tax-free. No capital gains tax, no dividend tax. In fact, I'll give you a simple example. If you invested at £10,000 and it grows to 25,000, outside an ISA, you may owe tax on the 15K capital gains, but inside an ISA, you owe nothing. This is why I see the stock and shares ISA as one of the gateways to tax-efficient investing. I mean, for professionals with, let's say, long-term horizons, you've got a stable income and high tax rates, this is one of the most powerful tools available. I mean, there are others as well, but it's not risk-free. Markets go up and they go down, so this is not for short-term money. Number 3, the lifetime ISA or LISA. It's powerful, but it's full of traps. Let's talk about the one everyone hears about. Lifetime ISA is where you get that free £1,000 government bonus. That's where you get it. This is how it works. You can put in up to £4,000 per tax year, and the government has 25%, but that's the maximum bonus is £1,000 per year. But you can only open one if you're aged between 18 and 39. You open it before 40, and you can keep contributing until you're 50 years. After that, no more contributions and no more bonuses. But you can use it for a few things. 2 things mainly: buying your first home or for retirement from 60. I mean, some of the big LISA traps you have to watch out for is, for instance, 1, the 450K house price cap. You can only use a LISA to buy a home costing 450K or less. That might work fine in some parts of the UK, but if you live in London or the South, like where I live, house prices are a little bit higher, and this cap can quietly change your plan. I've seen people save money for years only to realize that they couldn't use their LISA for the home they actually wanted, especially because the price was above 450. Number 2 trap: there's an early withdrawal penalty. If you withdraw from your LISA for any other reason other than buying your first home or for retirement, you lose the bonus, you might get a penalty. At the end, you get less than you put in. Number 3 trap: cash LISA versus stock and shares LISA. A cash LISA might feel safe for a short period, but long-term, inflation erodes it. So stock and shares LISA often makes better. Stock and shares LISA makes more sense long-term if you understand the risk. Of course, if you're saving a deposit for your first term and looking to buy in the next couple of years, it doesn't make sense to put it in a stock and shares ISA. This is a short-term goal. Okay, but you need to understand the risk of investing before you go invest. Now, here's an ISA most people completely miss or mess up, even when they use it for their children: the junior ISA. The junior ISA is for children under 18, and parents or guardians can save or invest on their behalf. The annual allowance is £9,000, which is totally separate from your 20K ISA allowance. Now, the key thing to understand is that the money comes into your child's control at 18 years of age. They can use it to do whatever they like, yes, including buying the shiny new Ferrari or throwing a massive party in Bali or wherever is cool for 18-year-olds these days. So this is not just about saving. You've got to teach your child as well about financial principles. Or if you're unsure about this, think twice about a junior ISA. Finally, there is the innovative finance ISA, which is more high risk and for peer-to-peer lending. It's not as commonly used as the others. In fact, I haven't used it myself, but I've used the other 3. Now, let's look at common ISA questions I get all the times in our masterclasses or in our blogs. I already have an ISA. Can my partner also have an ISA? Yes. Everyone gets their own ISA allowance. A couple can shelter up to 40k per tax year. What if I move abroad? If you move abroad, you can still keep your existing ISAs. They remain tax-free in the UK, but you can't contribute new money once you're no longer UK tax resident. Of course, unless you're a Crown employee. ISAs versus pension, which one is better? Well, these are different tools. Pensions give tax relief upfront, but they are taxed later based on how much income you draw from it. But the money you put in your ISAs have already been taxed upfront, but will then be tax-free going forward. So for many professionals like doctors and healthcare professionals, the best option will be to combine the two depending on your unique circumstances. So which ISAs do you use? So ask yourself 3 questions before you decide. When do I need the money? Is it short term? Then think of cash ISA. Long term, think of stock and shares ISA. What is the goal of the money? First home, lifetime ISA, but with caution. Retirement, flexibility, think about ISAs plus pension mix. And then 3, what's my tax positions? Of course, if you're a higher rate taxpayer, the ISA wrappers matter most. There's no single or best ISA. There's only one thing. Get the right ISA for the right job. Now, in summary, ISAs are not exciting. They don't feel clever, but they quietly decide how much tax you pay, how fast your money grows, and how much freedom you can have later. And with dividend and saving taxes rising in 2026 and the ISA rules coming in 2027, this is no longer something you can afford to ignore. Look, if this has helped you, subscribe for more practical money education and share this video. Check the links in the description. And if you want my best-selling book, The MONEYWISE Doctor, drop a comment and just ask for the link. And then tell me in the comments, which one ISA mistake have you made recently? Until next time, stay informed and stay money-wise. All right then, bye-bye.
The MONEYWISE Doctor Book is now available. Click on the link below to order your copy now and start your journey to financial freedom.